All right, everybody, this is live from the barbecue department at Wannemakers. I'm Steve Kress. I am the grill department manager here at Wannemakers, the epicenter of grilling here in the western suburbs of Chicago, located in lovely, beautiful Downers Grove, Illinois. How's everybody doing today? It is a couple days before Thanksgiving. The grill department here is hopping with people buying stuff for Thanksgiving, which is a great thing. It's always good to see cooking and food and people just getting all excited about cooking good stuff. So as we continue our journey into Thanksgiving, we have on today Dr.BBQ. Ray Lampe is going to be joining us in a few minutes. And he is he'll clarify it because I know I'm going to exceed what he is, but he's part of the National Turkey Federation. And he is going to explain to us some turkey stuff. He's going to go over some of these great things that he has. He has all these great rubs. I did post a challenge earlier in the week to see who would be brave enough to make a Nashville hot turkey. I think that'd be pretty good myself, especially if you're deep frying it. Doing a deep fried Nashville hot turkey, I think that would be pretty good. So let's bring on Dr.BBQ. He is a Chicago native who is now enjoying the warmer weather down there in the great state of Florida. And Ray, how are you today?
I'm good, Steve. Great to hear from you. Yeah, it is. The weather's beautiful here today. It's probably 75 and sunny, a little breezy, but I can put up with that.
Yeah, well, it's breezy here too, but unfortunately, it's a little chilly. It's a little chillier breeze. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
that time of year where your weather starts getting rough and ours starts getting beautiful. Everybody
yeah,
always worries about the hot days of summer and of Florida. It's like they forget about the part from now till probably June. We're gonna have some pretty great weather, so come on down.
yeah. Come on, yeah. I know. I just gotta start planning some more winter trips. I always go in. I always go in June or July when it's you're a glutton for punishment. You know can't get
We
any
can always
warmer.
tell if you see a guy riding in a convertible in July down here in Florida, we know he's a tourist in a rental car. We use our convertibles now.
Yeah, right. So let's go through some. Let's see. We got Facebook user gives us a big thumbs up. Nice to see you. Craig out there in LA says hello. He's probably got some good weather in LA too. Good friend Roy says hi. Roy is on. He had his birthday. I think was yesterday. I think so. Happy birthday to Roy. And Roy also says and to Dr.BBQ. He forgot about you, but that's okay.
Hey, Roy,
And,
good to see you.
and then the Facebook user says, "Hey Roy and Steve, happy Thanksgiving." Um, Yeah, it's Thanksgiving, Ray. So this is kind of it's one of my favorite holidays. Mainly just because you get to eat a lot and there's no penalty for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't feel bad about it. So,
There's,
um,
I mean, there's no such thing as too many dishes, no
yeah,
such thing as too many desserts, even. If you want to cook two turkeys, I just saw Ken Goodman, the photographer. He's making two turkeys. He said one for the people and one to make sure he has leftovers. Totally allowed. You want to throw in a leg of lamb or a ham on the side, some ribs, go for it. I mean, it's the great holiday for sure for us gluttons but also for people who like to cook, and especially guys, I think it started with, cooking the turkey on the grill because it got it out of the kitchen. I think the ladies, the way it used to be, were in the kitchen cooking all the other stuff, and they were like, "He wants to take the turkey out there, go for it." And meanwhile, we're happy to do it that way. And now it's evolved to where everybody cooks everything. But yeah, it's a fun day for barbecue people.
yeah, it sure is. And I got on here. Lynn is asking why it's not showing our names. Lynn, you may have to. Sometimes you have to say to let StreamYard use your thing. I believe you were on before. And sometimes it's picky because I know Mike Davis is on quite a bit, and it always kind of puts him as Facebook user for a while, and then all of a sudden it kicks him into his name. But Lynn, good to see you on the show. Um, Dr.BBQ, you got Dr.BBQ Ray. You got a bunch of rubs here. We got a bunch of them here. Just we'll get started off with those. You got your Italian beef, which an Italian beef sandwich for Thanksgiving along with the turkey would actually not be a bad thing. And then as I showed
I
before,
think
we
it'd
got
be totally acceptable. Yes, it would be a great side dish.
and then you got the Nashville hot chicken, which I still think would be if someone's deep frying a turkey, I would love to see pictures of a deep fried hot Nashville turkey. And then the peach chipotle, which I think to me is a sleeper of the bunch, but I do like that one.
Well, it's definitely the
Well,
one that's getting the attention, this peach chipotle. I haven't gotten around to entering very many contests, but I did the American Royal contest I entered last year and came in second in the hot rub category. And the Pro Shop just named it like on their have to get list. So that's the one that's getting the attention, amazingly.
but if you had to pick one of the four, what would you be? Which one of the four would you put on your turkey? I mean, I'm assuming not steak and chop, but
No,
um,
I actually think that's the one I am going to use because it's not
really,
really, it's really the salt, pepper, garlic seasoning. It's sort of my all-purpose. For me, it's become my all-purpose at home because I never know, So I had the Nashville Hot has been around for a while. The peach chipotle is a very sweet kind of barbecue rub, pretty predictable. The other two, I didn't really know how we were going to use them. I mean, I knew we were going to make Italian beef with the one. The steak and chop, I wanted like an all-purpose, but I didn't know. And at my house, it's become it really has become the all purpose. And I think because I don't want my turkey to be an Italian beef turkey would probably be great if you
yeah.
put that seasoning on a turkey. The hot turkey, I love that idea. The peach chipotle is pretty predictable barbecue rub, but I want something a little more mainstream or different mainstream turkey. So I think I am going to go with the steak and chop.
Yeah, just as remind everybody, if you do have a question, please comment. This is a time to ask here for before Thanksgiving. You have any questions that you would like to know about cooking your turkey or something like that? Ray might be able to help you. If not, I can try and help you. But Ray's probably a better answer than I am. Um,
You got to
but yeah,
understand my relationship with turkey. When the Turkey Federation first came around, National Turkey Federation, about doing the Turkey Smoke Project, I went over and introduced myself and explained to him who I really was. My first KCBS trophy I ever won was in 1991, and I cooked a turkey. Because back then the category was poultry. You could cook a duck, a quail, a turkey, whatever you wanted. And I didn't really know you were supposed to cook chicken, so I cooked a turkey and got a third place trophy. So I have this long love affair with turkey. I was on the show called Best Thing I Ever Ate over the years, and I took them to Big Bob Gibson's in Decatur, Alabama, which to me has the best turkey on the planet, man. That stuff is so good. So it was a good fit for me to be a spokesman for the National Turkey Federation. I was a turkey lover long before I met them.
I do love a good turkey. What is your favorite way to? What's your favorite way to cook a turkey? My favorite is I like the deep fried turkey. I do really love a deep fried turkey. But what would you say your favorite way to what it cook? Smoking, oven, deep frying.
Uh, you know, all of the above, but that's not the right answer. I like a deep fried turkey too. I mean, I did a magazine
Oh, whoa.
to their headquarters one time and fried one, and I overcooked it, but kind of on purpose because it looked great and the skin was just like potato chips. I wasn't that worried about the meat. I mean, and it was fine. It was actually pretty good, but man, there's nothing like a fresh out of the fryer turkey. I love
Mm.
that, and I think the Nashville hot rub would be good. I also like it in the oven, very traditional. I got no problem with that at all. But I will be tomorrow. I've been on a binge lately, the last couple of years for Thanksgiving. I cook it in my pellet cooker, so it gets a little bit of a smoke flavor, but not deep smoked, because not everybody likes that. So just a light kind of smoke to it, and then keep it out of the oven too. It makes frees up the rest of the kitchen, which works out well. So just that pellet cooker for me is a good fit right now for cooking a turkey. So that's what I'll do Thursday.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know what we're doing, Trisha and I. I don't know what we're going to do for Thanksgiving. Might go see some family. I just got a hold of Brad from Station One Smokehouse, which is a barbecue place in the area here that I may try to squeak in an order because, of course, obviously I'm late as always. See if I can squeak in an order that would so we may do that. It's been my brother and sister who I've been living with since after the divorce. They moved down to Florida, and then Trisha and I moved in. So they're now down there by you. They're around the Kissimmee area. So they're kind of in the middle between my favorite place, Disney World, and you. Uh,
Mhm.
so he used to smoke the turkey every year. So I haven't had to do anything as far as cooking or doing any worries for Thanksgiving. It was a matter just to go and eat. So I haven't decided this year. I have contemplated doing the oven turkey, just because of the fact I miss nothing makes the house smell better than
Yeah.
a nice good oven turkey, and I haven't smelled that smell in a long time because my brother has smoked it for so long. What gnats? There's like gnats flying around the store here. It's like getting me. They're like getting me. Um, here's a let's see. We do have a question. Facebook user, what flavor pellets would you suggest for the turkey?
I think I'm going to use cherry. I just always like cherry, especially for poultry, cherry or apple, because it's just that lighter smoke. And the cherry, it's not huge, but it does give it a little bit of really nice color. So yeah, I'll probably use cherry. Plus, I have a half a bag that I looked at yesterday that was open, so that's perfect choice for Thursday.
How do you prevent? I know I had a customer in the store. We were talking about it, and he says he smokes it. He smokes quite a bit, and then sometimes the turkey, like it'll almost come out. It's not burnt, but it's almost like the skin turns all black, like it's almost got too much smoke. Or how do you? Is there a way to prevent that from, to make sure that when even though you're taking it out, it's smoked, you get somewhat of a nice dark golden brown skin to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of guys do over smoke them. It's a turkey. It doesn't need a lot of smoke flavor, and we're guys that like to smoke stuff. So if a little bit of smoke is good, a lot must be better. And certainly in the case of a turkey, that doesn't really apply for me. And it does hurt that color. The other thing that happens is if you put a sweet barbecue rub on, it's going to get darker in color too. And if it's a brisket or a pork butt, we love that color, not so much on a turkey. So what I will do is season the heck out of my turkey inside. I don't use a sweet rub. I'll probably use just that seasoning, but I don't put a lot of barbecue rub on the outside, not a sweet sugary one. Now, if you want that, that's fine. It's going to taste good, but you're going to lose that beautiful color. And then just oil it a little bit too, oil it a little bit. And if it looks like it's getting the right color, go ahead and tint it with foil. But also, I think a big mistake that almost everybody makes, and it applies to the color too, is overcooking them. You just can't overcook it, man. When it's done, you got to get it out of there. And it doesn't take that long. And I think that's probably the big mistake. But I'm going to give you my main trick for cooking a turkey. I'm going to answer this one before you even ask. So here's what you do. Obviously, cooking a turkey is a challenge because the dark meat and the white meat don't necessarily cook at the same time. And you can easily end up overcooking the white meat to get the dark meat done. So a couple of things I've learned over the years. First of all, make sure your turkey is fully defrosted. You should have took it out 3 days ago, even if it's not a huge one. It's okay if it sits in the fridge for an extra day defrosted. It's not okay if the backbone is still frozen and you go to cook it in, put it in. Now that back is going to need even more time and you run the risk of overcooking the white meat. But the main thing I do is, and I learned this from an old big green egg guy, Mad Max. So you take your turkey, get it out in the morning, get it all ready to go, rub it down with some butter or oil or whatever, put a little bit of seasoning on it. And now lay it on the counter on a pan, and then take a big 1 gallon zip bag full of ice and lay that on the breast and then walk away from it for an hour. So what's going to happen in that hour? The dark meat and the hip joints and all the parts that have a hard time getting done are going to just generally warm up because they're now fully defrosted because you defrosted it right, and it's sitting on the counter at ambient temperature, so it's going to warm up a little bit. Meanwhile, the breast meat that you're trying to slow down is going to get ice cold from an hour of this big ice bag laying on top of it. And then when you throw the ice bag away and put the turkey in the smoker or the oven for that matter, and it just gives the dark meat a head start. And I can't believe how well it works. Doesn't seem like it would make that big of a difference. I find it to really work well for me. And almost always I can get the white meat nice and tender and juicy, and the dark meat has caught up and is done.
Nice. Well, let's kind of go. Let's rewind back then, and since we're talking about the turkeys, and let's talk about the turkeys themselves. Do you have a preference? Is there a huge difference? Is there a preference to, you see the big craze to doing everybody get a fresh bird, or is the butterball or the thing Jenny-O or whatever you find in the grocery store in the cooler section, freezer section, is that just as good, or is the fresh bird that much better that it's worth paying the extra money for that fresh turkey?
Well, now I do work for the National Turkey Federation, so I love all turkeys. And I think, and frankly, they're all good if you cook them right and cook them appropriately. So, and a not brine turkey, which is what you would be probably seeking out if you're trying to find something special, and then you would brine it yourself. Good way to go. Now you can brine a, a butterball type turkey. Somehow the butterball is the name of that one brand, but it's also what we call these injected turkeys. I mean, you can rebrine it. It's not going to really hurt it. It'll change the flavor a little bit. It's okay to do that. And it's okay. So I like them all, and I think you should treat them appropriately. Frankly, for me, if you do buy a butterball or that style of turkey, I don't see a reason to brine it. For me, I think it's ready to go. Someone told me a long time ago about like injected pork and injected chicken, and that's basically what these turkeys are. It's okay. Just find the one that tastes good because they're not all injected with the same thing. So now the real answer though is when I was a kid, first could drive, my grandma would sneak me a 20, like, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving and say, go to the store and get me the biggest butterball turkey they have. And every year I did that. And then as she got older and was teaching me how to cook and all these years later, she's been gone for 25 years. I still go to the store and buy the biggest butterball they have because that's just what my family does and that's what they like. So it's one of the things like you were saying about the smell of the turkey in the oven. It's Thanksgiving. It's a little bit different situation. So I love all those other turkeys. I know how to cook them all, but I'm cooking a straight old butterball straight out of the freezer. And the fresh turkeys, I read an article many years ago, and I don't I don't have the facts to back this up. That's Meathead's department. But
Right.
someone, when you buy a fresh turkey, that's all good. It's a fresh turkey. It's never been frozen. Lots to be said for that. But that turkey was killed probably a week ago. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. And it's been kept around, and hopefully they all took very good care of it. And I'm sure it's safe. But if you buy the frozen one, it was frozen like in a high blast freezer almost immediately after it was killed. And now, if I defrost it properly, in my mind, that turkey's fresher than the one that you bought that's fresh. Now, there is a lot to be said for the deterioration of the meat from freezing, but I don't find it to be that big of a problem. So I buy frozen turkeys all the time. I don't know that I've ever actually cooked a fresh turkey. If you are going to get a unbrined one, a specific breed even, or from a market that the guy's getting to come from a farm, that's great for sure. But the commodity fresh turkeys, I don't see a reason to buy those. I get the frozen one.
So you mentioned the obviously the butterball being injected and the brining and do you have a preference as to brining, injecting, Meathead's favorite thing, the dry brine, and if you do have a turkey that's you don't know if it's been already brined and you brine it, can you brine too much?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, in theory, it could get salty. It could get too firm. But I consider those butterballed turkeys to be a light brine. So if you brine them again, I think it's okay. The way brining works, it's just only going to get so much brine in there. It's just, at some point the meat is saturated and it might not be worth the trouble of doing it, but I don't think you would hurt it by any stretch. Um, I find, and again, I buy butterballs because of my grandma. No, no real backup for that plan. But I find they don't need it as long as I cook them properly. I find that they hold up well. That the white meat will be juicy and tender if it's cooked just right. If you can, you want to shoot for 165, even 160 internal temp if you can do it. Because with the rest, I let my turkey sit on the counter at least a half hour because it's a big turkey and there's always a lot going on. But if you can get it out of the smoker in the oven in the 160 range for that white meat, it's going to be tender and juicy and really going to be great. So I just find that there's no great need for that. One of the things that I was talking to Chris Capel last night from Dizzy Pig, he's an old friend of mine, and we were
Hmm.
just goofing around talking about something. And we were saying that, a lot of men in particular don't get to cook very often. They get to cook once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month and some less than that. And we like to do it, but we're not So if you're a guy that cooks in a restaurant every day, you're always interested in saving some steps because this is what you do every day. If you could save a step every day, it'd be great for your time schedule. If you're a guy that cooks once a month, you're not looking to drop any steps. You might be looking to add a couple steps because it's fun and that's what you like to do. So, I think we get caught up in that, frankly, with turkeys, especially this time of year, because it is a complicated thing to cook. And while they're not as intimidating as they used to be, I think we've all kind of figured it out, especially barbecue guys. We like to cook, we cook 20-pound briskets too. So we're not that scared of a 20-pound piece of meat. But in general, I think most folks, I think, overthink it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's keep it simple, as they say. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of go at
Hmm.
it. So do you have there's a bunch of different methods out there. Obviously, you can cook turkey whole. You can do the spatchcock method. And the new one that I've been kind of seeing a little bit more is people are actually dividing it up into the different pieces and cooking the pieces separately. Do you have a favorite way of how you would like to do it? Obviously, if you do the spatchcock or the or the pieces, you're not going to get the Norman Rockwell Saturday Evening Post beautiful looking table. You're going to get this dissected bird or this flat looking turkey on your table. But do you have a preferential way that you usually like to do it?
Yeah, I generally leave them whole. For one, I do want that Norman Rockwell looking turkey when I get done. I just, it's Thanksgiving, man. And if I have to compromise a little bit of the quality to have that, I'm okay with it. I think for me, it's also been the challenge as a chef to, okay, how do I leave it whole and make the whole turkey really well cooked? And I find that to be the challenge, and I like that. I do spatchcock occasionally. You could cook them a little quicker. It's kind of a fun way to cook it. You can, it looks good, and it certainly cooks more even if you do it spatchcock it. And the parting it out, that's been like a chef thing for years. That was always when I was learning how to cook. That was like the chefy thing to do because it makes complete sense if all those parts don't cook the same. Kind of like if you're frying chicken, you don't just throw it all in and take it all out at the same time. You put the big pieces in, and and so it really makes sense from a cooking point of view, but it completely ruins the presentation. So I would never do that. Again, not for a holiday. If we were cooking a turkey during the week and we wanted to kind of just play around with it, that'd be one thing. But the other one, have you seen the frog? I'm sure you have the
I,
frog.
I I was just going to mention that and bring that up to you to see if you've heard of that or seen that. Yeah, that seems to be the new thing I'm seeing popping up through Facebook is this frog method, and I'm still trying
Talk
to
about
figure out.
overthinking it.
I mean, I'm assuming they're cutting it along the sides of it, and then they open it up this way, so it's instead of so the breast is on one side and the leg, it's kind of this weird looking.
I think we can definitely thank the internet for that because I don't
Yeah,
think anyone would have ever thought that was a good idea if you couldn't get the bang of making a reel out of it and seeing the cool frog, turkey. I'm sorry to all my friends that cook them that way. It just makes no sense at all. That's just the most.
some
So think about what we're doing. When I look at the thing, I think, well, the whole beauty of spatchcocking it is the backbone is the hard part to get cooked. So we
yeah,
cut that out. Now, I've often not cut it out. I would just cut along one side of it or try to go as best you can down the middle because I do like having them bones hanging around. But
yeah,
the frog thing leaves it all together so that saddle, I'm going to call it, which is the two legs and thighs, that's a lot of mass there with a lot of backbone and stuff. And then now the breast doesn't have hardly any of that. And it's got that little skinny piece, like the point of the breast is out there on its own where it's not being protected by anything. I guarantee that's getting overcooked immediately. You might as well split them in two, cook the thigh and leg situation for a while, and then throw the breast on. We live in an internet world, Steve. So I think the frog
yeah.
thing is here to stay.
It could be one of those where somebody was trying to spatchcock and miscut somehow,
Didn't
and
know.
yeah, so because I mean to come up and call it the frog is kind of it's not a very chefy type of call there, but needless to say,
Well, spatchcock. Spatchcock is a very good chefy word. Remember when
yeah.
we first started hearing that? Everybody's like, "What the heck is that? Where'd that
What are
come
they
from?"
saying? Does it need to be banned? What are they saying?
I
Um,
mean, it's fun though. I mean, I like. and so while I'm making fun of the frog style of turkey, I'll also, when I'm speaking about barbecue contests, I will beat up on the people that all do the exact same thing and discard creativity completely. So I guess I should be enthusiastic about the frog turkey, but I think that went too far.
Yeah, no, that one's an interesting one. So do you have a take on whether to stuff the bird, not stuff the bird, or just do your stuffing or dressing on the side and just leave the turkey as is?
Yeah, I leave it on. I cook it on the side for sure. I was cooking Thanksgiving dinner when it became all the high level of discussion about people getting sick from the stuffing being in the bird. We have much better safety practices now. We all have a thermopen. We understand not to put hot stuffing in a cold turkey, but it's just not the most practical way to cook it. It's going to slow everything down. It's kind of like beer can chicken too. There's really not a lot that's going to happen to that stuffing in the turkey, except it looks cool. I would give it that. So yeah, it's just kind of not worth the trouble. But what I do is I'll make, like tomorrow, I'm going to make a big batch of stock. I bought
Hmm.
some necks and I'll open up my turkey and take the neck and I'll cut the wing tips and the giblets off and throw all that in a pot with some. I have some turkey miners, the beef base and chicken base people. They make a turkey base. It's hard to find. But if you can get your hands on a jar of that, or the other people that do is Better Than Bouillon. Those guys make a
Hmm.
turkey base as well. They're hard to find, but if you can get your hands on some of that and make yourself a big pot of stock. So I will have, when I start cooking Thursday morning, I'll have myself a gallon or so of beautiful turkey stock that I made, and I will use that for my dressing. So, I pretty much make the recipe straight out of right off of the package. It just doesn't need a lot more. Add a pound of sausage, some sage sausage, and then I saw Danielle, my old buddy BBQ, with her
Hmm.
turkey stuffing recipe. It was very similar to mine, but she added a cup and a half of craisins, and that's a really good idea. I'm going to do that this year. So thanks, Danielle. I appreciate that one. But so if you by making that really good stock, and then I'll use the stock for my gravy as well. I feel like I've infused the turkey flavor into my stuffing without cooking it in there. And of course, you get the nice crunchy part on top too.
Yeah, right. Well, Meathead last week was talking about he likes to do his stuffing muffins, where he takes the muffin tin and he puts the stuffing in there, which I think is kind of a neat way. I might look forward to trying that just as a snack because I love a good stuffing and dressing, and that sounds just fun to have just all the time, the muffins. So that's kind of a different way to go about it.
I
But
did that. I did a recipe like that in one of my cookbooks. I think maybe the NFL book, and and yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of that. I think Meathead stole that from me. I'm pretty sure. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We all stole it from each other. One of those. We weren't the first guys that thought to put it in a muffin pan. But anyway, it does get all crunchy all on the outsides, and you really don't even. You could serve that with anything. It doesn't serve it with pork chops. You're going to be pretty happy. It doesn't even have to be on Turkey Day.
no, exactly. No. So what's your we had Sterling Smith on the Thursday night show last week, and then he kind of turned it around on me and Ryan, and he was started asking us questions. And one of the questions he's asked is what's your favorite side to go on Thanksgiving? I said obviously stuffing and dressing, but I do love a good mashed potato and stuff like that. But do you have a favorite side that you like to put with the turkey?
Well, it's one of them things that gets two answers. It gets, what do I like to eat and what do I cook for everybody else? Because
Yeah.
as bad as it is, I'm a bit of a picky eater. Um, so I, my favorite side, I mean, mashed potatoes and stuffing. Yeah, you gotta have that. Let's not forget gravy. If you got no
Mm.
gravy, you might as well stay home.
Yeah.
But the one I started making years ago, it just clicked to me one day that this is how I should do this, is carrots cooked in root beer. So you just take
Oh.
the carrots, cut them in pretty big hunks, and I'll
Hmm.
sort of brown them in a saucepan with butter. Just a little bit of seasoned salt and brown them up, just get them warmed up and a little bit of crispy on the outside. And then get some good quality root beer and pour in, enough to cover them and just simmer it until the root beer is mostly gone. and the carrots are tender. And I'm telling you, the root beer flavor on carrots just works really good. So that's one of my personal favorites. My wife Sandy will make the mac and cheese always. She wouldn't trust anyone. Have you seen that meme floating around like you have to have a degree
Yeah.
of 3 degrees and a chef lesson to be able to cook the mac and cheese on Thanksgiving? So Sandy's on that one. Um, and I make green beans too. I just put them. I use like Dizzy Pig makes a lemon pepper, shaking the tree. It's called kind of a
Mhm.
funky lemon pepper, and you put that on your green beans with a little bit of olive oil, and just basically throw them on the hot grill in the pan. Just sort of saute them. They catch a little bit of grill flavor, and then I'll just put parm and some almonds on top of them. So not a full on casserole of green beans, but some tasty grilled green beans. So those are mine. Yeah, I mean I'm all about the turkey, man. I'll be eating mostly turkey. My plate will be mostly filled, and I will serve canned cranberry sauce. And I've seen a bunch of people recently, as everybody is publishing their menus, having both homemade and canned cranberry sauce. I thought that was kind of funny, and I really do understand it because I went through the trouble of making homemade cranberry sauce one time, and nobody wanted it. We all sat there. We ended up giving it away at the like everybody sent everybody home with some, and then they probably threw it away. And so why not just serve the can? But I like the idea of serving both. I thought that was kind of cool.
I'm not a cranberry fan, and maybe it was Meathead and I last week we were talking about it, just the neatness of the way it comes out of the can, and then it actually still looks like the can with all the ribs
Yeah,
and
and you
all that other
wouldn't want to
stuff on it.
change that, right? You wouldn't like
Yeah,
if you mashed it up, nobody would like it. That's how they
yeah,
want it. Look
yeah.
like the
Just
can.
um,
Isn't that funny? You spend all week cooking all these different things. You got, I mean, literally hundreds of dollars worth of equipment specifically for making the dinner, and then you serve this stuff straight out of the can.
and it
But
looks
it
like a
just
can.
fits, though. It's definitely one of them grandma things.
Yeah,
And
and
your
it's
whole
just
life, that's what you've been eating, so you accept it.
and it's just like you said, you get this fancy looking turkey and all these fancy looking sides, and then here's this cranberry that still looks like a metal can sitting in the center, and that's what
Exactly.
everybody gets upset if you don't have that can
Yeah,
sitting there.
for
But
sure.
we
What's your favorite side?
I'm the dressing mashed potato person. My ex sister-in-law used to make a great broccoli casserole, and that's what I mentioned on that show. I wish that was something I got out of the divorce was the recipe to that, because she did make a great one. Had a lot of cheese in it. Had the Ritz cracker topping and all this other stuff. Man, I could eat a whole tray of that. And so I do like that. I'm very traditional. I'm not a big green bean person, so I'm not a green bean casserole. I know it might disappoint a lot of people about the green bean
Hmm.
casserole and get upset, but I'm not. It's more mashed potatoes and stuffing. My sister used to make which I probably missed this year most of all, is that she used to make my grandmother used to make a cracker stuffing. So she would make that would be made in a loaf pan, and you'd slice it up, and I used to like that. So
Really? I didn't even heard of that.
yeah, I don't know. I wish I got to ask her for the recipe for that, and then I'll pass it along to you. But it's my grandma's used to make it, so I don't know if it's an old Bohemian recipe or
Yeah,
where she got it from. But it's kind of bland actually in general, but there's just a taste to it. Maybe it's just the memory of having it over at
sure.
grandma's house that makes it taste even better. But I mean, I can eat that all day long, especially since it's in a loaf pan, and then you can slice it up. It's a great snack, and you can even have it after Thanksgiving because it's all in like little slices. Um, but
Contributes
the
to the
big
carb loading, I'm thinking too.
Yeah, right. And then you're just gonna, but amazing enough as it is, as much as you always eat. The other question Sterling asked from Luton Booty was what the favorite dessert is, and my favorite dessert is obviously nice warm pecan pie with ice cream on top. And no matter how much turkey and all the other stuff I eat, there's always room for a pretty good sized piece of pecan pie with a big, huge dollop of ice cream on top. So. But do you have a favorite dessert afterwards, or do you bypass dessert?
No, no, gosh, no. Are you kidding? Uh, well, I mean, I'm sure my plate will consist of one of whatever is around. A
Right.
little bit of all of it. But I really like pumpkin pie. I mean, I don't necessarily eat pumpkin pie in the off season. You know what I mean? It's just one of
Right.
those things that works really well. So I like pumpkin pie. Sweet potato pie could substitute for it because they're generally not that different. But I like that stuff. Now this year we're having so most of the folks that come to my house for Thanksgiving, they don't care for pumpkin pie. So we will usually get a cake.
Hmm.
Which is fine with me too, but there'll be a pumpkin pie too. And this year I invited my buddy John, who loves to make desserts. So I told him make something pumpkin, thinking he'd make a cheesecake or something. Well, after much discussion, he's nailed it down to a homemade peach pie and a cheesecake with a guava swirl in it. And then we'll have a cake too. So we're not getting any pumpkin pie, but I'll get one. I'll just get one at the store and
Yeah,
make it for
get one.
myself later. This time of
Get
year
one
is
at the
not that hard to get you a piece of pumpkin pie.
Yeah, get one at the store and some with some whipped cream to go on top and make
But
it all. Um,
I'm looking forward to that cheesecake with the guava swirl. So guava is, something we eat in Florida a lot. Weirdly, we don't see a lot of fresh guavas, but it's very much of a flavor that we like. And so it's kind of weird. In Chicago, I would have never, no one would have,
yeah, I
if you
can't
brought a
even.
guava cheesecake, they wouldn't know what it was.
Yeah, I was when you said it, I was kind of like, "What is a guava?" It's like pineapple on pizza. I mean, I know the rest of the world think that's a great thing, but you say that here, and it's like putting ketchup on a hot dog. It's like I don't get the whole. I don't get
Yeah,
where
it's
the
definitely
pineapple
one of them
fits.
things that sort of stayed in Florida. But I mean, it's down here. It's something you see all the time. We'll be happy to have it.
Yeah, well, I had other questions, but unfortunately, for some reason, as we started talking about all the food and the desserts and all this other stuff, they've all vanished from my head. So I'm now focused on being ready for Thursday and eating. That I have to find a place to actually eat if I don't get something for myself. But so we'll see what happens to that. But um, yeah, I appreciate you coming on today and taking time out and sharing Thanksgiving with us. I wish we didn't have too many questions. Another person said, I don't know what someone must be having with StreamYard today because everybody's Facebook user today. It says, "Hi, Stephen, happy Thanksgiving." So I don't know what happened to sometimes StreamYard is, as always, there's always some technical issue that happens on this show that something
I'll
doesn't
I'll
work right.
take the blame because I'm sitting in the Walmart parking lot, so it's probably my fault.
It's
They
Walmart's fault.
blocked everybody. Yeah, they blocked everything because I'm in Walmart's lot. They don't want to be sharing people's names.
Yeah, exactly. So, you're doing football, watching any football at all on Thanksgiving, or watch any kind of?
Yeah, I got some Lions fans friends coming over, so they'll be all excited. And we can watch the Lions beat up the Packers, and I'll enjoy that, of course, as well. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
I'm sure you'll get some ribbon for the Lions game this past weekend. I think it was. Didn't they just lose to the? Didn't the Bears just lose to the Lions? Was that who they played this
Yeah, they
last weekend?
choked. Yeah, the texts I was getting all day were like that the Bears were going to beat them, and the Lions, are good this year. And then at the end, the Bears did a good job of choking and letting the Lions win. A lot of that lately. It's
Yeah,
almost gotten worse.
yeah. I don't. It's almost like there's no defense there. So, well, Ray, I'll let you get back to your beautiful sunny day down there. Enjoy. Have a great Thanksgiving to you and Sandy. And I will be down there in the area. I did the first week of June, and if you're around, I will shoot you a message, and then maybe we can hook up for dinner or something again. And uh, it's always good to see you.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. And I've got your event for next year on my calendar, so we'll see if it works out. But I'd love to come. I'm always looking for an excuse to come up and see all you guys too. So hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yep, exactly. Have a good Thanksgiving, Ray.
Take care, man. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Oop. All right, everybody. That was Dr. BBQ Ray Lampe. He is obviously a Chicago native, good friend. Great information there about Thanksgiving turkey. I hope everybody's going to have a great turkey day. We do still have some supplies left, though they're getting thin. So if you're planning on coming here at some point to buy something, I would do it sooner rather than later. I think I'm down to, just looking at it today, down to my last 4 bags of bird baptism from Meat Church, down to my last 5 bags of Cosmo turkey soak. So those are getting down to the nitty gritty. Still have a lot of uh, brining bags available. We still have Malcolm Reed's brine in. That's the newer one from him. And we do have a bunch of the brines from Butcher Barbecue that are still here. But if anybody wants to take a challenge and do that deep fried Nashville hot turkey. I would love to see pictures of that. And then if you're close by, I would actually love a sample of that, just because I think that sounds really cool. And of course, now that I mentioned that, I just thought of the question that I was going to ask Ray, which was, what is his favorite leftover turkey thing to make? Mine obviously is turkey sandwiches. I do love that a lot. So I look forward to seeing everybody's turkey pictures. I will do a post on Thanksgiving, because I'd love to see everybody's turkey and what everybody's eating, because this, I think, is one of the greatest holidays. It's nice to just be with family and be with everybody and friends, and cooking and just enjoying being around and just focusing on and just having a fun and have a good time. So with that, like I said, we still have a lot of rubs here today. Rubs that are available. Obviously, we got Dr.BBQ stuff. We still have What the Cluck. We still have Clucker Dust. We just have still have some Dirty Bird. We got not Malcolm, Heath Riles chicken rub. We still got tons of stuff. So we still have a lot of the seasoning sides of it. As far as the brine side, that is starting to get a little low. We still have a bunch of Traeger's turkey pellets. If anybody's looking for the turkey pellets that actually include the brine kit, we do have that as well still. And it's almost ready to start swinging into the Christmas season, and we'll have to figure out what kind of shows we're going to do that will lead us up into gift giving and all that other stuff. But I'm just going to do a little short show here today. Maybe do a little shorter one today, and get back to enjoying my beautiful day off here. That's nice and cold as I celebrate my first week of being 53. And I thank everybody for coming on. I wish I could see more of the names. I see Joe Clark's on there. He said go Pack, and obviously a Packer fan, which is okay because the Bears stink this year, so which most years. And so I thank everybody for coming on and doing all this stuff with us today, and asking us some questions and learn a little bit about Thanksgiving. And I look forward to seeing you next week. We'll see what kind of guests we can get for next week as we head into the Christmas season. And that's about it. So as always, please be kind and courteous to everybody, especially now as we're heading into the holidays. To understand that everybody is going to be a lot busier. I know it's getting busier here at Wannemakers with the Christmas trees, live Christmas trees, and all that other good stuff. It is going to get busier here. Please show some patience. You're not the only one shopping, folks. You're not the only one shopping. So be kind and courteous to everybody, and understand that you may have to wait a little bit and just enjoy being out and being around everybody. And as always, it's our differences that makes us great. After all, who would want to live in a society where everybody is exactly the same, believed, thought, and did the exact same thing? That's not the greatest thing on the face of the earth. It's what makes us different, is that we can tolerate each other. So let's kind of tolerate everybody's differences and start spreading the love as we head into the Christmas season. And just enjoy being, like I said, just enjoy being around other people and experiencing just life in general. Because after all, we're only here for a blink of an eye. So have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy, watch some football, enjoy lots of turkey, eat lots of good stuff, post lots of pictures. And I tolerate you. My good friend Ryan, he tolerates me every Thursday. There will be no Thursday night barbecue chat this week because obviously it is Thanksgiving, but Ryan and I will be back next week for Thursday night barbecue chat. And Ryan, as always, as you said, made it to the end of the show again. So Ryan, it's good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and Stephanie and Caden, and you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I will see you guys all next Tuesday, and have a safe one. Be safe, be kind, be courteous, enjoy everybody, and remember, you only have to see your family for a little bit, and then it goes back to normal. So please be nice even to your family, your brothers, your sisters, your mother, your dad. Just enjoy that they're all around. And with that, I am out. And have a good day, everybody.